Vikings, let's win the game.
Attention Vikings fans. In the recent games, 2 worrisome defeats have raised several questions about whether the team, which started off strong, still has what it takes to reach the playoffs. But don't hit the panic button just yet. We're here to inform you about the 3 critical areas that need an urgent turnaround. Tune in now for this analysis. What do the Minnesota Vikings need to do to turn things around this season and secure a playoff spot? Welcome. Show your Viking support by reaching 100 thumbs up on today's video. In the last few weeks, the Vikings have faced 2 defeats in 5 days, creating a feeling that things might be falling apart, especially considering that this performance exceeded initial expectations. Regrettably, the Vikings have started to show some quite evident weaknesses. So what are the 3 main issues that need attention? The solutions to these will define the team's fate. The first one, defense. When the blitz doesn't work. Brian Flores has caused trouble for opposing defenses at the start of the season, but problems began to emerge. Flores' sophisticated blitz strategy is crucial for covering up the Vikings' defensive weaknesses. However, despite initial successes, the defense began to falter from the second half in the game against the Packers and became even more evident against the Lions and the Rams. The defensive players weren't able to pressure the opposing quarterbacks enough. The defensive backs failed to provide adequate coverage, especially with Blake Cashman missing, leaving the middle area of the field very vulnerable. The Vikings held up until the end, but until the team finds answers within the squad, this will continue to be a thorn in their side. There's also the trade deadline. Will the Vikings make a move? A trade for a long-term answer on the defensive line or at cornerback would be interesting. The Vikings' second priority is offense after the scripted plays. The Minnesota offense starts games well, scoring points quickly, but then, oddly, begins to falter as the games progress. It's a weekly phenomenon. They are good in the scripted plays, but fail to adjust as the game unfolds, particularly after the first 15 plays, already speaking of Sam Darnold's limitations outside those planned plays. Kevin O'Connell needs a strategy to keep his quarterback free for longer, and in that time there have been setbacks along the way, like Aaron Jones's injury against the Jets and Christian Darrisaw's injury against the Rams. Injuries, unfortunately, are part of the season, and everyone is hoping for T.J. Hawkinson's return against the Colts as an extra force for the offense. The third, but not least worrying, are the recurring penalties. Disorganized teams that commit penalties do not win games. The Vikings have conceded a worrying 28 penalties over the past 3 games. In the total games up to now, there were 54 penalties at the cost of 390 yards. This is something that can be corrected and should be the easiest area to tidy up. Only the Vikings offense has reached 31 penalties, repeatedly putting themselves in a hole, particularly with pre-snap penalties. The defense has performed better this season, but the 6 penalties in the game with the Rams were a seasonal high, raising the overall tally to 15. With this, what can the team do to overcome all these adversities, regain momentum, and remain strong in the fight for the playoffs? And with the final transfer deadline approaching on November 5th, will the Vikings make a big move in the market? Leave your comment below. Your opinion makes a big difference. Hit that subscribe button to receive more exclusive news like this. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!